starting with where to travel. And if you have plans this summer and you want to get away after being cooped up for 2.5 years with lockdown and mandates and border restrictions and travel restrictions and what may be the case, well, in the past 24 hours, a lot has changed, and this is what you need to know to be able to prepare for your summer plans. When it comes to changes to COVID-19 vaccine passports, well, that is changing as of June 20th. So just around the corner, we're talking about in the next 5 days, June 20th. As of midnight, passengers no longer need to be fully vaccinated with 2 doses of an approved COVID-19 vaccine or one of Johnson & Johnson to board a plane or train in Canada. If you recall, in last year's election that took place, the federal election in September of 2021, well, Justin Trudeau had campaigned heavily on making it mandatory for vaccine passports when it comes to traveling in Canada, as well as to leave Canada. So people who were not vaccinated and could not show a vaccine passport with the approved COVID-19 vaccines, well, essentially couldn't leave the country. They couldn't board a flight to leave the country or board a flight to go from one end of the country to the other for long distance travel. Canada's a big country, or get on a train or via rail or a ship. And that is all changing as of June 20th, where it will no longer be required. And because people do not have to show their vaccine passport, well, that means that their status, if they're vaccinated or not, is not something that's going to be asked. Canadian population, 90% have been vaccinated. It is one of the highest vaccination rates in the world when it comes to the stats for Canada. And at this point, after 2.5 years, well, whoever's going to be vaccinated would have already been vaccinated by now, and whoever's chosen not to get vaccinated, it does not seem like they would after all the lockdowns and all the restrictions that have been put in place. So it makes sense that we go to a state of normalcy when it comes to travel, as we've seen the backlogs of the airports, those horrendous pictures and people putting their experience at Pearson Airport on their social media about long lineups, cancellations, flight changes when it comes to going through security, when it comes to baggage claim, and it's just the kind of experience that people have been going through to be in a lineup waiting for 4 hours, sometimes 6 hours. It doesn't even justify trying to travel out of Pearson Airport. So we're going to talk about what the federal government's going to do to make sure that eases. But when it comes to these restrictions, they believe that it will decrease the wait times at Pearson Airport, because it is really because of the COVID-19 mandates and travel restrictions and the things that were required to be able to travel, where this is one less thing that airport staff will have to do when it comes to the check-in counter and checking, the vaccine passport status. All of that is going away, and so therefore it is believed that it's going to save some time. But in terms of what's going to stay, especially even after June 20th, well, when it comes to returning to Canada, vaccinated Canadians abroad will still have to meet their requirements when it comes to using the ArriveCAN mobile app. That is an app that you have to download on your phone and insert all the information that is required of you in the ArriveCAN mobile app. And there's also a desktop version. And this comes out that you'd have to fill it out when it comes to 72 hours before the arrival in Canada. So the ArriveCAN app is not going anywhere. It's still in play. And unvaccinated individuals must also still meet the testing requirements and the quarantine requirements that are set in place. And that if they don't comply, well, there's a fine of $5,000 or criminal prosecution. So that stays as is. And when it comes to masks, those are still mandatory when it comes to boarding planes or trains. So you're still required to wear a mask to travel. And monkeypox, you've been hearing about monkeypox for quite some time. What is it? As you've been dealing with COVID-19 and everything that's been going on, and now there's this new virus, monkeypox. And what is it? Well, essentially, health officials in Canada are encouraging Canadians to take extra steps and precautions when it comes to monkeypox and traveling, as 31 countries have been listed as having the threat for monkeypox, and to be careful if you're traveling to those countries such as the United States, United Kingdom, Australia, Mexico, Spain, Germany, and when there comes to a level 2 notice issued by Public Health Canada about, to avoid non-essential travel to those destinations. Essentially, the outbreak of monkeypox started in West and Central Africa, and the cases have increased around the world in recent weeks. And now, as of the latest confirmed numbers of monkeypox in Canada are 123 confirmed cases. So this is something to be mindful of. And there is a vaccine. It's a smallpox vaccine that is available to be able to deal with the virus of monkeypox. And as you can see, it's the bumps. It looks severe, the rash that with the images that we've seen of people who have contracted monkeypox. So this is something to be very mindful of, and the World Health Organization is now looking at changing the name of monkeypox. They're saying, well, essentially, due to the name, that it may be discriminatory, as they're saying that as people would assume that this is an African disease and being involved with monkeys, and they're saying that there's a lot of discriminatory and ideas and nuances about monkeypox and where it originated from, what it means, and who it's around. Although Health Canada has now prioritized vaccinations for monkeypox, the smallpox vaccination, for when it comes to people who work in certain areas such as bathhouses and certain areas that might be at higher risk of contracting monkeypox. So those are important things to be mindful of, and we'll let you know what happens with the World Health Organization rebranding monkeypox, and if that's something that needs to be done. And we know that as of late, when it came to hurricanes, that was rebranded in terms of what hurricanes are called. When it came to COVID-19, if you recall, it was first called coronavirus, and then somehow we stopped using the word coronavirus when the Corona beer sales went down. I don't know if that's even related or correlated somehow, but yes, so now it's about rebranding monkeypox to another name, and let's see what that means. I don't know if it's too late for that, given that we've been talking about monkeypox for quite some weeks now and going on for a few months. So let's see what that means for the World Health Organization. Of course, in Y Media, we're going to bring you all these details as they get unfolded and they make the news and headlines. When it comes to passport renewals, well, this is something that's something that we've been showing you, the long lineups and camping overnight. If you can imagine camping overnight at Service Canada. We're talking about Service Canada offices in British Columbia, Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa, that have had a significant surge in applications. Well, after 2.5 years of people not traveling, and if their passports had expired, well, now they're looking at renewing it to be able to make travel plans. So now what has Service Canada done? Well, they have hired 600 new employees to help with the process. And they're saying and they've also added 300 more centers. So 600 new employees, 300 centers to make sure that processing goes through a lot faster. They're saying this will be 75% of applications that they receive should have a passport ready within 40 working days. So that's Monday to Friday, 40 working days. So you calculate that. And when it comes to showing up in person, well, they're saying even though the wait time is a few hours, it could be anywhere from 4 hours and onwards. Well, they're saying that in person for specialized sites that you can get your passport within 10 working days, which is quite ideal in that sense.